This is Weekend Work on Shade 45.
Radio Love Dinero, Coach PR, and this is Weekend Work, and we working on the weekend as usual. And PR,
As usual.
we got a special guest in the building, man. Somebody from your family tree. Where you come from?
Hey, that's family right there, bro. That's my
They
bro
know who
right
it
there.
is. They know exactly who it is. It's Buck. You dig what I'm saying? AKA Buckshots tapping in with Big Bro. Coach PR is Weekend Work right now, and we rolling up on a Saturday. You dig?
Hey, you know, I'm gonna drink to that.
We're definitely gonna drink. So Buck, like
Yeah.
I want you to get into the story on how did you get down with G? I want to take it back to like 03, 04. Man, yeah, 03, 04. How did the whole situation start? You know, I know you was down with you was messing with Juvenile and y'all was on tour. Let's
Word.
talk.
It was just really, man, a situation where, you know, I had been rocking with Juvenile. Well, I've been rocking with Cash Money for years and years. And, you know, Juvenile happened to be up through New York. And our bus driver, rest in peace at the time, CeeLo, he had a solid relationship with Sha Money, which was the manager. Yeah, CeeLo, rest in peace, Lo. But Sha was the manager at the time of G Unit. And you know, they were popping real strong and shit within the mixtape scene and shit back then. So I was aware of their music and a fan, you know. And when we got up that way, I told CeeLo, you know what I'm saying, yo, bro, see if you know, cause he was the one who introduced me to him. And I was like, yo, you know, see if you can get them niggas to stop by the bus. Juvenile had a studio on his bus. And you know, he reached out to Sha.
He brought Juvenile to Queens. That's
for sure.
Yep.
For sure. And that is, he brought Juvie out to Queens and shit. And like I say, we had a studio on the bus at that time. And that, you know, Yayo, Smurf, Bang'em Smurf, 50, it was a few motherfuckers, Banks, everybody came by that bus that day. And they ended up recording a record, 50 and Juvenile.
Well, that's
and
the
I
UTP,
think
that's one with UTP?
Yeah, that was UTP.
All right.
But in the midst of them in the back recording records, I was chilling up front with Yayo and Banks and shit up the bus, and was kind of playing a few little records that I had and shit up there. And Banks ended up being the nigga that went back to 50 and was like, yo, man, you got to come around here and hit this shit. And 50 walked around to the front of the bus. He heard the record and was like, man, that shit is crazy. And, you know, at the time, Juvenile was really stressing the fact of if we found opportunity to take advantage of it, because he was going through his own thing. So for me, I was pretty much like, you know, the nigga was liking the records and shit, and I was like, you know, I'm not in no contracts and none of that shit. That's my brother. And I'm rocking this UTP, but, you know, if it's any business there, let me know. And about a week later, from after that hookup, you know, I was getting a call from Sha Money saying that 50 wanted to get, you know, he really liked the record that I was playing on the bus. And that record was Bloodhound.
Oh, it's Bloodhound on the 50 on a Get Rich or Die Trying.
It ended up being Bloodhound on Get Rich or Die Trying. And what 50 did was handed me the first check that I've ever got from Rap Then and put me on the album. I already had that record. It was produced by one of my producers. And I actually had 3 verses on the record. He just bought the record from me and kept 1 verse on it, took 2 of them off, put his verses on it, gave it to the world. And, you know, from there, it was one of those things where, you know, I think Eminem ended up mixing the record. Sha Money was like, yo, M want to mix the record. I'm like, you serious? You know, for me, it was like one of them situations where for me, I felt far as Bloodhound wasn't my best record. It was like, so I didn't really believe that motherfucker like M or even 50 now was going that far with the record. And I'm thinking, damn, I got a lot more to offer. But he ended up giving me that opportunity to kind of come along and be a part of G Unit right when he was dropping his album. I think Sha had reached out and was like, yo, man, 50 want to do do the whole thing, do the business. And I was like, cool. So, you know, in the beginning, I'm strictly out the streets at that time, bro, and really didn't have a lot of knowledge of the business, even though I had been independently pushing for so long. I didn't have a lot of knowledge of the business from the level that I was walking myself into.
Yeah.
I had a lot of independent knowledge, you know what I'm saying? And learned the game like that in the South. That's what we do. We independently push our music more than I would say, kind of getting and signing to a label. You got a lot of dudes out. Yeah, a lot of dudes
out their trunk, straight out their trunk, right?
Straight up, bro. So for me, that's how I kind of started. But 50 gave me that opportunity, you know what I'm saying? And I took advantage of it, and that's how I became, I guess, Buck to the world, because that's the first platform where I've been heard at on the international platform was through the opportunity of G-Unit. And, you know, I always give him the respect for that because he gave me the opportunity, but my talent and everything else speak for itself. He didn't give me my talent, he gave me the opportunity. If I had to do anything over, I would have put the same amount of energy into the business that I put off into the talent, because me not understanding or not really asking a lot of questions and shit like that, it come together. I had to deal with it in the end. You know what I'm saying? And it is what it is.
Yeah. So, Buck, do you remember the first record that y'all all recorded together?
I would say
that was a mixtape.
It had to be a mixtape. It's something for a mixtape.
Yeah,
it was a mixtape.
It was a little bit. It was titled A Little Bit. Remember A Little Bit, I think on 50 Cent is the future. A little bit of X, little bit of cocaine. A little I forget the actual first record. I know I can remember the first time, the first record of we got together and recorded, and I would say it was the one that Dr. Dre created on the G-Unit album.
Oh, Beg for Mercy album.
Beg for Mercy album that my papa never knew what it was to be a man. I just rolled with $50. That record there.
So you know what? Buck, I'm gonna play Bloodhound. I'm gonna play that. I'm gonna play all three of those. We're gonna come back and finish talking to you. I got a couple of more.
Hey, you gotta get into the other shit. Black Glove. Black Gun.
That's one of that's that classic work. That's that classic work though, right there. I ain't even gonna sit here and play with you. Black Glove.
Right, yeah.
One of my favorites. I ain't gonna lie, man. Like during those times, bro. You know, those records kind of got created because during those times the energy was dedicated to that in a real life way, and I based my music off real life. So creating that type of music, it was simple and easy for me because we really live in that environment and really living the things out that you know was pulling from that record. It wasn't me, you know, rocking somebody else's life. No, man, I'm coming off the stage and putting them black gloves on and some more shit. You dig what I'm saying?
And
so
black mask.
Well, we're gonna get into that
black
right
mask,
now. We're gonna get into that right now, VR. We got Buck up here. It's the Weekend Work Bad Boys Radio.
888 Shade 45, holla at us, man. Young Buck.
This is Weekend Work on Shade 45.
888 Shade 45, it's Weekend Work. Coach PR, DJ Love Dinero, my brother, our special guest, Young Buck. There's no more Young Buck though, right? It's just what? Buck Shots? What are you going by, Buck?
Man, you know I'm forever young. Young Buck is never going nowhere. I'm an AK Buck Shots though. That's not
AK
going
Buck
nowhere either. I might come up with something else again too.
I'm gonna ask you, out of all the G-Unit members, who was your favorite person you like to work with? Between
Banks.
Banks?
Without a doubt.
Why Banks? Why Banks? Why Banks?
We always had that friend. You know, it's almost like a friendly competition type of thing. Like Banks is a lyrical motherfucker, so I always enjoyed, you know, seeing what the fuck he's about to say type shit. You get what I'm saying? As well as Jay, you know what I'm saying? But if I had to pick out of anybody, it would be Banks. You know, 50 is one of them ones where we used to do a lot of recording, but kind of creating and building the songs, we rarely done that. Either I will have a record and the direction done and he'll lay his verses or vice versa. He'll have some shit and want to lay it. It was times though where we would get in and kind of create together and make some of these records that you hear that became classic records, they were created together. But a lot of these times, you know, it was sometimes where, you know, me and Banks would make the records and then 50 would drop his verse or 50 would drop the record and then we'll come in and do our verses. Shit like that.
When Game was part of G Unit, you and Game gained a relationship. You're after the G Unit, you still had a relationship. Are you still cool with Game? Are you and Game still cool?
Yeah, I ain't got a problem with Game. I haven't talked to him or no shit like that, but I ain't never had a problem with homie like enough to be able to sit here and, you know what I mean,
right.
act like it's real beef. But for me, you know, I ain't really got a problem with no fucking body, man. I'm getting money, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm one of them ones that, you know, I'm aware of the picture that's painted out there because a lot of this shit I've painted it. You dig what I'm saying? So for me,
right.
You know, I know what the big picture is. And it's interesting watching how people react to certain pictures that I paint. You dig what I'm saying? You just got to kind of pay attention. I'm still an open book when it comes to my career. I done been through so much and kind of pushed in an underdog position. And, you know, it's one of them things in my world where, you know, when I look at what we done as a crew with G Unit, I give us all a pat on the back. You know what I'm saying? Because
it was history. That's history. Hip
it
hop
was
history, bro.
history. It's definitely history.
It
But one
definitely.
thing I will say that, you know what I'm saying, you know, if it was anything I would say is that 50 didn't create G Unit by his goddamn self. You know, of course, he may be the forefront of G Unit and been the, you know, quote unquote leader of G Unit or whatever. But G Unit wasn't built just on 50 Cent. It was 50's brain. It was individuals like myself, individuals like you, Coach PR. You know what I'm saying? Individuals like Sha Money, Halim, you know what I'm saying? All of these
Like
other
Love Dinero
marks.
too, who helped play the freestyle.
Dinero, I
Who
can't
was
leave
that
you
mixtape?
out of
Yeah,
that.
those
Big
mixtape
facts, though.
DJs. Yeah, they
Yeah,
helped a
This
lot.
is
Right.
big facts, though.
We all
Dinero,
played
I can't, it's real talk. You know,
Right.
and I hear a lot of times, and the shit, I've paid attention to a few little interviews, and, you know, you may hear 50 yell a lot of negative shit about niggas ain't work, or niggas ain't deserve this, or niggas didn't do this for themselves, and a lot of that is a bunch of bullshit.
Well, hold on,
I
Buck.
just
I'm
don't respect.
gonna stop before you say that. I'm gonna say this to you, like
Yeah.
Buck. You know, in the South, you played a major part to G Unit because you was the biggest thing coming out of the South once upon a time. You was along the lines with T.I., Ludacris. You know, you had both of them on the track dissing each other before the Gucci's.
Flip. Yeah.
Before a lot of people that was coming out in the South, you was you was the main guy coming from the South.
For sure.
It's a fact.
For sure.
Tennessee. You know what I'm saying? He was talking that shit along with 3 6 Mafia. A lot of people don't really remember that. Before Jeezy, before a lot of shit, Buck was the guy, man.
And see, what happened was, in that era of music, bro, I really think that people overlook the fact that, you know, the fact of me being from the South and surrounded with a group of East Coast cats that I never growed up with. And the East Coast, you know, at that time was looked upon, and still is, I can't say at that time, the mecca of, in the sense of hip hop, where, you know, you kind of more or less look for the lyricism of an East Coast artist than anything. So for me to be able to come amongst a group of lyrical beasts and hold my own, it stood up for the South, and it broke down a lot of doors, because for a long time, you know, rest in peace to Pimp C, there was almost like this divide, this division of divide from the South and the East and the West. And, you know, even though Pac and Biggie was going at it from an East and West perspective, we were kind of like over the South not getting that play that we felt that we deserved from the East Coast.
Yeah,
we were overlooked. A lot of artists were overlooked from the South.
We felt like, and Pimp C used to bring that to the light a lot. Through his conversations and interviews and just through his music, he spoke openly about how he felt, you know, the support wasn't there. So I think I broke that barrier by being truly amongst the group and being from the South and really, you know, holding my own to the point where it it opened up the door, like y'all saying, for so many other Southern artists to be accepted from up y'all way and around the world, whether it was T.I., Jeezy, all of those dudes had hit records, but G-Unit was at its peak at those times. So, of course, it was only right for me to share my stage with a T.I. or share my stage with Jeezy or share my stage with Snoop Dogg, whatever the case it be, or, you know, whatever it was in a sense for the South. For me, it was always looked upon like, yeah, you know, I gotta do this, not just for me being Buck or G-Unit, but for the South in itself, because, you know, we was always underdogs out of this shit. You always had a lot of the artists from the East and the West, and then once we got ours, you know, we started doing it. I always kept that hit. Even though I've been amongst the group, I've always kept my roots and understood where I come from and what I was around,
right?
You know?
Well, yo, PR, I think what helped G-Unit go so worldwide, and like, you know, you had Buck that was down south, you had Eminem being from Detroit, and you had, when Game got down, he took over the West Coast.
West Coast.
I felt like it covered everything, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
especially with the mixtapes and with Wu Kid, that what he did, it took G-Unit to a whole nother level. It took it worldwide. Like, that buzz was crazy. Like, I never seen nothing like the way that was when the first mixtape came out from all the G-Unit.
I haven't seen it. Yeah.
I never seen nothing like that. People were outside waiting in the stores for the mixtapes to actually drop. And it's like anything that I did at that time, it don't matter what it was. I did over other people's beats. I did it over, and people was like, it was like that took over somebody else's song. The freestyle was so big that the regular song didn't get a chance to get no play.
Right, that's fast.
Right there, the Kinky joint,
for sure.
There's so many records. Love You Better, LL.
Shout out to Jimmy Iovine and Interscope.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, you know, it was the machine. A lot of that had to do with the machine. I'm not gonna bite my tongue here on this interview. You know, a lot of the energy that the world were able to get from G-Unit as a brand and as a company and as our music, it was in regards to the machine of being in that loop of Interscope. You got M, of course, over there. You got Dre. You got 50. You know, the times at that time were, I think the relationships between the powers that be were more in place. And, you know, things start to happen in business that us, when I say us, Banks, Yayo, and Buck, we didn't have control of from a business standpoint because we were never offered to even walk in those meetings. I've been in those meetings because I damn near forced myself to be in there. You know, regardless, I know what it's like to sit at the table with Jimmy Iovine, M, and a few more of the big wigs that's there. But that was because I started to realize that, you know, why not nobody else within the group is taking the approach to understanding the business or where the business is at. So
wait, Buck, hold on. Buck, I don't mean to cut you off. Back then, though, you weren't that on the business level, though, Buck.
Not at all.
You know, as you said,
so
because let's get back to, you said Dre and M, right? Even with the situation with you and Dre and at what was that, the BET Awards, and you caught a case behind that. Right, you caught a case behind that, and did you ever get a beat from Drake?
Nah. I mean, well, let me be real. The beat that I did, the 50 was on the record. I think he threw a yeah. Folks just saying I'm just waiting for folks to consume everything around me and pay up and do. No, I don't do what you allow me. I do what I want. So send that buck to that cash app. I'm moving a pump. Nah, I'm just, my bad. I didn't mean to do that though. I'm just sitting in the studio. I swear to God, I really didn't mean to do that. But
yeah, did you get that beat from Dre? Did you use the beat, and did you feel that? So I did this, and I kept it too real, because at some point you have to feel like, you know what? Maybe the streets. I kept it too real, and I should have been concentrating on the business point, which you did it at that point, right?
Nah, man. Look, you know, I didn't do what I done looking for nothing in return. You get what I'm saying? These things that if a dollar wasn't in perspective, or a beat wasn't there, you still would have got me doing what I do. Because if I feel like my life in threat or any one of my loved ones' life is in threat, I'm going to do what they got to do or make it shake. You feel what I'm saying? Period. So I didn't do what I done looking for nothing from a Dr. Dre. Truthfully, I didn't even know it was Dre that was fucking the issue was with and about. You know, I was in the back of the stage. I watched on the teleprompter. I'm with Banks on the teleprompter, waiting on our call to come out and present the next award. When the shit went haywire, I immediately stepped to the front. You get what I'm saying? And that's when I seen Dre having his issue with whatever. And you know, that's the big that's a homie. That's big homie. How in the fuck I look like sitting here lying with anything that happened? I would hope he would have did the same for me. So for me, it was nothing, looking for nothing in return. Did he reach out to me? I can't really remember. I ain't gonna act like I can pick up a phone and call Dr. Dre. You understand? Or none of that type of shit. But do Dre owe me any motherfucking thing? No, man. Dre don't owe me shit, honestly. And it's just being true and real to who I am. I just look at it as if, you know, he produced a couple beats. You feel what I'm saying? He produced You Ain't Going Nowhere. And this is Dre hands-on, me sitting there with Dre. You get what I'm saying? He produced a record that I think They Won't Be Long For Your Day. You know, he produced that record. I did those all in one session, those two records. And that was kind of like the only time I really been able to be really truly hands-on with Dre. But
that was Beg for Mercy. That was Beg for Mercy, right?
Yeah. But the Beg for Mercy records were group kind of orientated records. Right. I was on hands-on with Dre one-on-one with creating You Ain't Going Nowhere and for sure. That nigga had me in the studio for 2 hours saying one fucking verse. That nigga's truly the doctor. I'll give him that for sure. That nigga like, yo, say it this way, and meant that shit. And when it all finished out, it ended up being one of the biggest records on my tape. So I got the utmost respect for Dre, and you know, them two of my favorites, period. You know what I mean? And I know their relationship with 50 is solid and what it is. And I ain't had the closest relationship with them. I just respect them for everything that they did and done in regards to G Unit and everything, you know, they looked out for me on in any kind of way. But me having any kind of relationship with a Dr. Dre where I could pick up a phone and call Dre, no. Me picking up a phone, call him, no. None of those things is there. So
at the end of the day, Buck, all you did was you was riding for the team. That's all. And
that's it, man.
And with that being said, the first fallout with you and 50, what happened with the first fallout? Because I know they were saying the taxes. He was saying that he paid your taxes and all kind of stuff. Like, what happened? Like, you know.
Well, honestly, it wasn't really based on no taxes and shit. It was based truly more or less on the fact
it was a phone call. It was the first one was a phone call. The first fallout was a phone call that you guys had. That was the recorded phone call, and then because you and him were going at it. That was the first one. That was the first fallout.
That was the first issue, and it was more like this. I'm gonna keep it real. You know, Sha Money was the manager of me at the time, as well as the manager of the whole group and the president of the company. All right, when me and 50 had been, you know, rocking period up until I had did an interview. And they asked me how important was doing shows. And out of that interview, I spoke and I was like, you know, doing shows for me, you know, is everything. I ain't never seen a publishing check in my career. All of this shit that I got, Bentley's, houses and everything, I got, you know, I got this shit from off of shows. So I think that kind of rubbed them. Well, let me not get too far. I done that interview and you know, at the time, Sha Money and 50 wasn't really seeing eye to eye on things that I have no idea about to this very day. Some say financially, some say other shit. Who knows? Them two know. But the fact of it all remains is that the business wasn't on point with Sha Money, and the business wasn't fit enough for 50 to the point where 50 had pulled me, Banks, and Yayo in the room at the office and told us, hey, I'm going to need y'all to get rid of Sha Money, and I'll find y'all another manager. I can't fire him, but y'all have to get rid of him because of their own issues that they were having.
So this is after he was fired from G Unit?
Yeah, that's like you don't know about this shit.
No, but I know. I'm making sure. Like this was before.
You know,
right?
PR wasn't in behind those doors every time to know what was being said.
No, it was a joke.
Yeah, it's just being real, and it's like I gotta give facts. Even he can follow, you know, but you know, this real shit. You know, 50 say, hey, we gotta get rid of Sha Money, and at the time, Sha Money wasn't just my manager or the president of the company, but this was my fucking best friend. He was the closest individual taught me to G Unit pretty much. So I'm the best man on the man wedding at the time. You feel what I'm saying? So I looked at him more than just being G Unit. That's my brother. So even though the other ones chose to get rid of him, I didn't. And when I didn't get rid of Sha Money, then the resentment started for real. So what happened was that's what started it. Once I decided not to fire Sha Money, 50 and Sha were going at it. And once 50 seen that I was kind of rocking with Sha and not getting rid of him, he done it like, okay, y'all stay over there. Y'all got it from there. And it was right in the middle of my second album, Buck the World. So he basically pulled out and left that album up to me and Sha. Sha did all he could to try to promote the album and run down the lanes within having issues with 50 as well. These all facts and can be backtracked where you can catch throughout the media. As they had their issues, I made the decision of rocking with Sha because it was deeper than rap to me, far as where we stood as brothers. And out of that time, we did all we could with Buck the World. It got to a point where we didn't even speak to 50 for over 6 months. And I remember
both you guys, right?
Both of us, me or Sha Money. You know, I'm just the one who phone call got recorded. But Sha hadn't spoke to 50 in 6 or 7 months. I spoke the phone call to 50 that the people here where I became emotional on. I was sitting in a van with Sha Money in front of his house on the phone call. You know why I made that phone call?
On that same phone call, you was with Sha.
I was with Sha Money when I made the phone call. He the one who told me to call 50 because this shit gotta stop. And I agree. We hadn't seen 50 for 6 months. We coming off of being brothers. He felt like his issues was the reason why my, is causing separation with me and 50. He was like, look, I'm gonna reach out to him. You know what I'm saying? And we go from there. When I reached out, I became emotional out of the phone call because, like I say, that I ain't got shit to hide about crying motherfuckers. Like, ooh, that don't make me so. It was one of those things where I looked up at 50 as a brother. I became emotional out of the phone call. I hadn't spoken to him 6, 7 months. And it was more like, I was accepting the wrong that I done, that I felt that I done, and was voicing that. And I had no idea that he was recording my phone call. But if you listen to that phone conversation, the last thing that 50 said on that conversation was, okay, we're going to get everything right. And from there, he did. We started to move as a unit again. Because after that phone call, we started to rock. And it was G Units back together. It was one of those things where.
But with Sha now Sha wasn't back. Now Sha wasn't in the picture. Now that you're back.
Sha was still in the picture. Sha was in the picture. Sha was in the. I don't know hands-on what his conversation was with 50 or where they stand, but he was still in the picture because I was back in the picture. And Sha and 50 was kind of interacting a little bit. I don't really know what the full issues was. But out of nowhere, probably a month and a half later, the interview that I spoke on before all of this was published.
Popped out. How did you feel now that the interview comes up? You're talking about the interview now? When you said that?
Now I'm talking about the interview. The interview where I spoke and said that I hadn't received a publishing check in my career pops out a month and a half after we get back together. 50 felt out of nowhere, I get a call from Sha Money saying, yo, 50 just called, man. He's tripping out about this interview. Right? And I'm like, what do you mean? What did I do wrong? Why is he tripping? He's like, man, we just getting everything back together. And then this interview comes out where you saying you ain't never seen a publishing check. I said, man, let that nigga know that shit is old, man. That was before we done even patch shit up. You know, they published that shit. But it's the truth, though, Sha. Nigga, I ain't never seen a publishing check. You know what I mean? And he at the time was like, man, I know, man, but you know 50 take shit the way he take it. I'm like, look, I didn't mean it from that perspective for him to be tripping out like that. Like, why is he tripping? You understand? And from there, you know, I tried to reach out a few times and he wasn't really communicating with me. And he sent the message, I think, back to Sha and was like, I don't even want to talk. The next day I woke up to one of my guys saying, yo, bro, you might want to turn on to try to link on the Hot 97 50s on the thing, kicking you out the group. So for me, I'm like, what the fuck? You feel me? Just because of this, I never seen a publishing check. I'm standing on that. I'm not finna change nothing that if it was a lie, then yeah, nigga. But this shit's the truth. So we had our war from there because I chose to stand on the truth. He felt whatever he felt. And from there, the typical 50 assault started. That's when he pulled out the rabbit in the hat for me.
The phone call.
The phone call in the midst of us. Oh, boom. So it kind of fucked the fans up and made the fans think that, oh, he kicked me out the group. And here it is. I'm crying. You know what I'm saying? Because I was emotional or he's crying to get back. No, man, dude. Sit and
how did you feel when you heard the phone call being played?
To me, technically, I felt like, you know, at that time, that's some real life police shit. And even now, I still will feel that way. Because, you know, technically, I'm your brother. What were you recording the phone call for? What were you looking for from? He was looking to do what he done. But all of these things are starting to come full circle with people. I don't wish bad on nobody. I know.
But Buck, he did say because he recorded because he knew that you would try to flip it in another way.
That's bullshit.
Right?
You and I both know. I mean, whether I don't even want to put you in it, but 50 has a way of words. He speaks very wisely and he speaks intelligently and he knows how to put his words together, which gives him leverage at times with the fans to create big smoke and mirrors in certain issues and cover it up because that's what the money do. You know, but I'm the real deal when it comes to standing on what you see is what you get. And that's a fight that he ain't had to deal with nobody into this shit. And I'm one of them ones that, yeah, it's a lot of shit I can get on this mic and say. And I will if it becomes that way. But at this point, I'm so focused on moving forward and kind of keeping everything positive that I'm really not even giving him a lot of energy in regards to where I'm at now. So speaking
are you still with Junior? Are you still in G Unit?
Fuck no, and will not. Don't plan. I don't plan on
no longer G Unit.
No longer with G Unit. It's done. You know, my situation with G Unit is done.
How did you get out of G? How did you get out of G Unit? No, because
he
aren't you still owed those?
50 started to exhaust all of the lanes from where financially I make money from throughout music. On a trying to silence me type of thing. He sent cease and desist to Apple Music, all iTunes, everywhere, in a way of silencing me for what I will let you know. 50,
was it a silence because you still are obligated to an album from G Unit though? At that time when the cease and desist came?
Not at all. What it was that he had claimed that I owed $350,000, but I knew those things were all bullshit from the very beginning.
Was that for the music? Was that for the album, or is that for with the loan that he gave you?
He never gave me a loan. That's the thing. See, the thing is that he created these smoke and mirrors of I gave you this loan. Well, I tell him, show me a receipt and I'll give you that. I'll pay you every dollar back right now. You get what I'm saying?
Wasn't that for the taxes though, Buck? Wasn't that for the taxes?
No, my tax situation wasn't in regards to a loan for my taxes. What he gave me for my tax situation was paid back to him immediately. We talking about years ago, homie.
Okay, so that was
We in
clear.
2020.
Right, that
We in
was clear.
2020, man. That's in 2000 and what, 6 and 7?
Right.
Whatever he paid in those taxes, he got back on his own out of my money because he damn near controlled it and let me know when he got it. Hey, man, I'm good. I got it back. You understand what I'm saying? He'll pull his out of somewhere where we supposed to be getting it if you owed him something. So he's been paid back. I don't know what he was looking to speak on in regards to saying I owed him $350,000. So what I did was had my lawyer team reach out to his lawyer teams and do something as simple as, okay, if you're saying I owe you, then send me over any kind of paper trail or any kind of receipt to show this money, and we'll go from there. All right. Once he realized I had the finances to pay him, he came back and said, well, no, I want $350,000 and you to sign over everything that you created. 50 ain't never paid for none of these tapes, none of the 10 mixtapes out of the 10 mixtape series I dropped. All of these things has been bought from and paid for me, down to the Bentley, nigga. When I say 50 bought it for me, shorty, but it's still mine, nigga, I was lying. Let's keep it 100. So I'm just not gonna sit here and cap. I'm telling you the truth. You know, that's how I wanted it to be. It's how it should have been. You know, I spoke and wanted the picture to look like these things, and that's what you do as a team player. But technically, homie, I'm gonna keep it as real as I can with you. You know, those loyalty energies wasn't displayed back the way that things should be in regards to dealing with G Unit and 50 Cent. So, like I say, man, it was a good era when it lasted. That shit is out of here. I'm done with that.
So you know what? We gotta remind people about that era. PR. I gotta play some music real quick because we
we talk for a minute. Let's play some music.
There's some more questions we want to ask.
Outbreak, man. Outbreak out the EP, man. I touched number 5 in the country independently with no promotion. Ain't none of these rap niggas post my shit. None of this shit. All of this shit for real. These folks run around here thinking I'm broke. I've been up for a long fucking time. I'm gonna keep it
shit,
real.
That's what
No help, no none of that shit. I ain't gonna shit. I got to. You feel me? They got me
want to hear.
Let's go, Buck.
I'm asking for a fucking buck to kind of take or something because I'm in bankruptcy. Man,
we're gonna talk about that later.
Man, I gotta. Okay,
cool. We're gonna come back. Let's play some
fucking music because I'm just telling you, man, they got me fucked up. We up, Cashville, we been up. Ain't shit broke about this here.
It's the
Triple H 45.
Love the
I just know how to take a negative and turn it into a positive.
That's what we do on the weekend, baby. You know how we do.
This is Weekend Work on Shade 45.
Bad Boys Radio, Love the Dinero, Coach PR. We here with Young Buck right now. So, Buck, that was the first situation, right?
Yeah, so, man.
Do you feel like 50 tried to publicly embarrass you?
Of course, man. I mean, how could you not? You know, especially with the gay shit and all of that shit. You know, 50 was one of the first persons that I reached out to when the fuck shit went down the way it went. You know the truth. You know where I stand.
But people saw that, bro. There was audio and everything. What do you think? The mask. So he's going to think, looking at it now, and 50 has all these millions of followers. How do you clear that up to let people know that? Like,
I don't gotta clear shit up. I don't gotta explain my motherfucking self and shit like that. It's simple. I'm not fucking gay. I'm not none of that. You know, I put myself in a position to be fucking catfish. You dig what I'm saying? They plan went wrong for whatever it was worth. You dig what I'm saying? I poured gas on the fire by reaching out to people around me trying to get the motherfucker to find whoever the motherfucker was. The conversation that a motherfucker hear, it's not me speaking generally of who I am. It's me basically reading through text messages with somebody on the phone saying, please don't hang up or say this or say that. So technically, I really wasn't even who the fuck I'm supposed to be on the fucking phone call that they hear from the bullshit. It's just a big, wide-ass, tangled-up situation, and I didn't help it none by jumping out there and saying this and that because I found myself trying to fight a public opinion. And honestly, man, I don't
But
have
Buck, on
shit
the
to
phone, but
explain.
on the phone again though. See, now we have 50 on the phone, and people will say Buck will be the first one should be to know not to talk on the phone to
I
anybody
mean,
because of the
everybody would
situation
say
with 50.
anything unless they in that fucking position. You know what I'm saying? At this point, I'm thinking, what the fuck? And even from the phone call, the shit was chopped up for whatever it's worth. But the motherfucker first words was, I need $2,000. And I kind of know mentally, oh, this is the bullshit. This is a setup. But at the same time, I knew, damn, I put myself in this position. You know, ain't shit happened from this bullshit like this, but I could see the energy of where it was going. So for me, you know, like I said, at that moment, when the shit went down, he was one of the first persons I stressed out, like, yo, Phil, hey, bro, this shit is crazy, bro. This foul ass shit is on the fucking internet. With me walking in the room with this motherfucker, I didn't know none of this shit that was going on. Ain't shit went down the way it was. He immediately understood it and was like, yo, man, don't worry about that bullshit. Nigga know better. And that was the energy. What changed 50's energy is not that shit. What changed 50's energy is because he was alerted from somebody as small as fucking Sound Exchange, letting them know that going forward, I was going to receive my own 33 1/3%. That a motherfucker been taken from me ever since they even existed. And knowing that the amount of money that I got from one fucking company like fucking Sound Exchange, that if he been taking that shit like that in this 6 figures, even just in 3 years that I fucking was paid attention to, he knew if I was to uncover those sides of business, I think at this point now, like I know, guess what? If it's getting done to me, it was getting done to him and him and him. I know for a fact. He know I know the business and I know the fuck shit that was going through business. My issues ain't with 50 about nothing other than business because financially he's in a position to heal the wounds that he done caused, not only in my situation, but every nigga within G Unit. Every nigga's owed something in G Unit. Yayo, banks, even down the fucking game. I'ma keep it 100. You understand what I'm saying? This ain't about none of the media bullshit, nothing. My issues is business. You understand? I'm available for anything. I've always been hands-on PR. You know this.
So you think he does he owe me money too? Even though
It's a strong fucking chance. A strong fucking chance. Sha Money, hey, Sha Money, do he owe you? You know?
And, PR, you know he paid you for everything you did, so you better shut the fuck up.
So you know it is what it is, man.
Yeah.
You know, like I say, man, I wish
got all your money.
I wish dude the best. You know what I'm saying? Do what you do. But at this point, there'll be no silencing Buck. So if you pop shit, I'm gonna pop even worse of shit. Don't forget, nigga. I'm right here.
Okay, Buck. So let's look at it this way though. People will look at it and say, you guys signed a contract. You had lawyers to look at your contracts, obviously, right? How do you get fucked though? If you have lawyers and you signed the contract.
Well, the question is, was they Buck lawyers or was they their lawyers? That's the question.
There you go. Hey man, Dinero. Hold on, Dinero. Let me help Dinero out. Dinero, you're a very smart man. Because my lawyers were hired through 50 Cent's lawyers. Theo Sotomayor. There you go. All right, so Theo Sotomayor, look, I came to G Unit with my own manager. Shout out to Ron Bird. He was managing Juvenile at the time. I spoke to Ron Bird. I spoke to Ron Bird about managing me from the beginning. He was the first person I took the G Unit contract to. He said, Buck, you know I'm down with you. I'm only looking for 20% to manage you, and let's rock. I brought my situation back to 50 and was like, yo, 50, let's do it. I'm down with signing. I got my own manager. And he was like, whoa. And I'm like, okay, what's going on? He's like, well, I kind of got all these things set up already. And besides, dude's looking for 20% management, and you haven't generated no money yet. So, you know, I think that's a little bit too much. I came back to Ron. He was like, I'm not really willing to do the deal with dude. So I come back to Ron Bird as a man and say, you know what, Ron, you know, I'm gonna take this opportunity on my own. That's how much I wanted and knew what I would do with the opportunity. and he respected it. We good, solid to this very day, because he was like, you know, I'm here for whatever you need me for. You know, go ahead, take the journey. Therefore, I walked into the G Unit umbrella, which was Sha Money as the manager. My lawyer at the time was Hector Baldonado. You understand what I'm saying? Which was hired through Theo Sotomayor, which was 50's attorney. So if you answer your question, that's how I got fucked, because my attorneys was hired through 50's attorneys, and he controlled everything. And you know, him and Theo had whatever issues they had, and they separated ways. So you know, do I blame him? No, it was all on me, because these people in this industry, I've realized over the years, they only gonna prey on what you don't know. They're not gonna tell you what you need to know. They're gonna prey on what you don't know and win off of that. So for me, I understand the game, and I just, you know, I'm no longer a victim of
the BS,
of the bullshit. And you know, I stand on this shit in every kind of way. And you know, I'm not bitter. See, that's the thing. Throughout my career, I displayed so much bitterness that the realness got overlooked about where the business was standing at in my situation. Because every time you hear Buck, I'm hollering at the top of my lungs, and it wasn't because, you know, I wasn't right. It's because I was so bitter. But going to the penitentiary twice as a celebrity and not PCing up and walking the real penitentiary yard, one of the worst penitentiaries in goddamn America, twice, you learn. Either I'm going to go in bitter like I did the first time, and it came right back because I went in bitter, I came out bitter, and it sent me right back to the penitentiary. So this time when I went to the penitentiary, I went in bitter. I didn't go in bitter. I went in bitter the first time. All right, I went in better and came out even more better. So for me, I understand a lot of the things that I've put in the public eye by putting myself in fucked up positions, or just actually jumping on this fucking camera and wearing my heart on my sleeves, being a motherfucker not afraid to show his emotion. It's these tough ass, soft ass niggas out here that we in front of. These niggas that scared to give the people the emotional side, or too tough to show, any kind of pain towards certain things. As a man, I understand, we have to always be what we are, and that's men first. But for me, I don't got no fucking mask on or no fucking outfit I gotta put on to.
You ain't gotta go on the roof.
No, man.
You ain't gotta transform.
I ain't gotta do none of that old funny ass shit, man. These niggas trust me, PR. You know these niggas got masks on, PR. So it's like you've seen this shit. You've seen a lot of this shit.
Yeah,
I've been with you and watched this shit.
Yeah.
We fucked a lot of people up throughout the years together, PR.
Yeah.
We beat the shit out of people like that. We've been in the industry with these niggas. Yeah. We've seen these niggas from a different side. I'm not here to try to gain no points off of none of these niggas, because none of these rap niggas really give me the energy that I need to get to where I go. It's the fans and the people doing it for me. You don't see no nigga posting Outbreak, my album, my EP, 7-song EP that just
how do you feel about that? Are you getting how's the relationship with a lot of other artists now that
I don't even check? Look, if a motherfucker is my partner, then he already my partner. He ain't spoken on this issue. If a nigga ain't my partner, then he know where he stand at. Stay over there. Fuck you. And when you see me keep the same energy, it go for any of these niggas, the so-called my partners or so-called not my partners. Nigga, if you're my partner, you see what I've been going through, because like I say, a lot of my shit is played for the media and for people to gain opinions from. So it lets me feel and know that, damn, maybe you feel like these suckers. Or you.
When did you see that disintegrate? When did you see that relationship to a lot of artists just vanish? Like, at what point in your career was it? When you went to jail? Was it when 50 went at you or said the things that you had when it was with audio?
It started when I went to prison the first time, and believe it or not, it started with 50. I went to prison. I honestly, I'm hard-headed because these things were put in my face. I went to fucking prison, and 50 never accepted one phone call from me.
At all?
I did not understand it. I was sitting in prison, bro. I'm sitting in prison with goons, goblins, killers trying to survive every day. Niggas would be like, yo, you know, this is like issues where niggas was like, yo, bro, you know, tell this nigga 50 this or that. Or I would find myself just calling the nigga just period. Man, the nigga would literally, you know, on how the federal phone works, all right? And you could hear a motherfucker pick it up and hello. So you could hear that. So I would hear this nigga pick up the phone and say hello and then hang up. And when I got out the penitentiary, bro, the first time I asked that nigga, I said, 50, why you never answer my fucking calls, bro, while I'm in prison, bro? It's the lowest next to being dead, nigga. Like, how you didn't answer my calls?
What'd he say?
That nigga said, man, that nigga told me, man, I didn't want to talk to you over those lines in there. And I'm thinking to myself, that was bullshit then, and I know it's even more bullshit now. These things that the world don't know. I went to the penitentiary the second time I went to the penitentiary, and the only reason why the G-Unit reunion happened, I give all the praises to you and DJ Who Kid. I'm not going to front for these people, PR, because you niggas push the line to be able to want to see these things happen the way that they should have happened and should have been. And I seen the same thing that y'all seen. And we all seen it evidently because the reunion started to happen. All right?
People wanted to see it.
Back together. Huh?
People wanted to see it.
People wanted to see it, you know, and even I was genuinely for it, you know, and I think everybody was genuinely for it. But, you know.
I just thought of something, though. It was one point, it was at a point where you did go at, is he there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Where you did go at 50 and was like, you know, fuck G-Unit, fuck 50, whatever, you know. And it was at a point where you went like that, and then you went with Game. Don't you think that could have even still been like? And I know it didn't start from there.
You know, that was a little before the reunion. That happened.
Right, that was before the reunion. I know that. But
yeah, I get what you're saying, PR. You think those things
in his head? Don't you think that still was sticking in his soul? Like, you know, from that point.
Well, honestly, I didn't think. Like,
it was said, and then you're back together again.
It was a lot of things. It was a lot of things said, even from his end. Just like he said, Game and Buck can suck his shit. You know, that's as foul as fuck, as foul as it gets. We still find a common enough ground to be able to, I guess, move past it because we started to move the reunion. I've seen pictures of him again.
How do you think? But how do you think that could be healthy though? This is what I'm trying to say to you. Like, you guys, like, how's that healthy? You guys disrespectful to each other, and then get back, and then think that everything is going to be cool.
When you got a brotherly bond, these niggas wasn't looked upon. 50 wasn't looked upon, bro. It's like brothers fight, my nigga. Like, we supposed to fight every now and then.
It was something that you said to me, and you said you used to say it a lot, and I actually said it. I said it today to my son. I said, if I didn't shoot marbles with you, then fuck it. Remember you used to say that shit, bro?
Yeah, that's the truth.
If I ain't shoot marbles with you, right.
If I ain't shoot marbles with you, then fuck it. But PR, listen to me. That was my true term of how I view everything outside of our crew. It's like these, even though I didn't shoot marbles with these niggas are my brothers. Anything else outside of us, it was like, nigga, if we ain't shot marbles with them, fuck them. The difference is that
Right.
I think those mentalities from 50 were more or less. It was that, you know, if I
Or more
I don't even
business,
think
or
it
was
was
it, or
that.
was it straight
Hold on.
business?
Let me say this. I don't think it was that. I think 50 will focus more for self than anything, just to be truly honest. Because one thing I learned is that some of the closest people that and some of the best people that you're gonna meet in your life is gonna be people that you never spent a day with growing up around. Some of the most realest people in my life has been people that I've never grown up around to this very day. So I can't stand on the own quote that I used to give. Is that if I didn't grow up shooting marbles with you, then no, because look, man, I wouldn't be here today if it was some of the people for some of the people that I never growed up with. So I think I was wrong right there. You get what I'm saying? What I do think is that 50 had experienced the business before each one of us within that group. So he had a head start of the business
on all of y'all.
on all of us. I don't think 50 took the time, whether it was his job nor his job or not. He never gave us the business education. He never once said, "Hey,
So he was
you know."
he was more Carmelo Anthony than LeBron James. He was
He never
the
ever.
Melo that
He
would
kept
just,
business
he
for
didn't show you, he would
himself.
just tell you. Yeah.
He kept
Okay.
business for himself. He kept business for himself.
Well, you know what he did, Buck? He did what was done to him. They didn't tell him, so he didn't tell y'all.
There you go.
Going.
So that's exactly what
That's what he did.
50 did.
But
And I think he was fucked over.
do you
I think
expect
he
him
was
to
fucked
do?
over. I think he was fucked over in his career, PR, doing certain levels of business where he drove this thing of understanding business enough to kind of use it on us. Some of the things that was used on them, they used on him, instead of him teaching us not how to go through those things that he had to go through business wise. He used those things on us and became what he became for 50. There's no 50 doesn't owe me, Banks, or Yayo nothing in a sense. He gave us the opportunity. But 50, by being the boss and the CEO of a label, could open up a lot of doors outside of just the doors that were there. He would basically almost put it off on the other guys at times, like they were lazy, and use me as the poster child. Man, y'all niggas need to be doing what Buck doing. Y'all niggas sitting around ain't dropping no music, you know, tell nigga Banks, man, you know, you ain't dropping no music. Yeah, yo, man, fuck out of here. You know why you ain't doing this? That's the type of shit.
You know the difference is you come from the South, so like you knew about the whole independent. You had that knowledge already, so it was easy.
Of independence. He had the knowledge of the independence, right?
The
independence and
Right.
Ye and Banks didn't come from the knowledge of independence. Banks has his own way of working and dropping music, and 50 never allowed I feel like us to comfortably, you know, evolve or comfortably evolve without saying or doing something to pull us down, to stand beneath him. Everybody's their own grown man. You hear this nigga on interviews talking about niggas, yayo and shit, throwing niggas in bushes and shit. That'd been the day a nigga would have seen that nigga get shot by a nigga like me, bro. A nigga ain't never put his fucking hands on me. I'm just keeping it 100. Like, some of these things was for real in situations where I felt like it was embarrassing moments, or he done things to belittle us or to kind of keep us beneath him. If you look at every picture of G Unit, including the album covers or anything, name one picture where you see us all standing side by side. You're gonna always see that nigga in the front and everybody else behind him. That speaks volumes of the mentality of where he stands at. Leave it at that.
He was a G Unit leader, though.
Yo, Buck, I want to take it back to when the reunion happened. We're going to talk Summer Jam 2014 on that Summer Jam stage in New York City. Well,
Word.
not New York City, Jersey. How did you feel about what happened with the junior reunion and the things that took place on that stage?
Honestly, man, what you talking about with slow bucks and shit,
Yeah.
shit off the stage. And
I want to
shit.
know what just.
I never had no one on.
Was Buck on the stage? Buck, you was there, right?
I never
Buck?
had no one. Honestly, See, slow used to be with us. You know what I'm saying? Slow Bucks used to be with us, and the nigga was always a solid nigga with me. I'm not gonna sit here in front. He was always his own nigga. He was always a get money nigga, and he was a stylish, fly nigga type nigga. There was always just, I never growed up around Slow, but he ain't never did nothing unreal to me. Now, how he came up and started to get his money out here with what he do and how he do it, I don't really know the ins and out specifics, but his brand and shit, he's moving his brand and moving with his brand. Now, the issues that were cooked up with 50 or G Unit and that were issues that were kind of outside of my knowledge. All I know is it's an issue with Slow based off of whatever. It was more like Queens things that was kind of rocking out throughout that shit PR with them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So when the issue happened, I knew it was funk with them. If I was to say anything, is that Slow know what type of energy niggas was on at that time. Me personally, wouldn't have put myself in that place for the bullshit to happen like that. Cause me personally, I would say, it was nothing else but negative shit to get out of that.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So I can't say nothing to speak on that situation other than, you know what I'm saying, shit happens and shit happens, you know what I'm saying?
I wasn't there for that situation.
Yeah, rest in peace to
Slow.
Nip. I remember seeing Nip like, yo, what the fuck is going on?
Because Nip and Slow are close.
Fast,
yeah, right. Yeah.
And I'm like, man, I don't even know, cause shit, shit is just a lot of those things like that was just unexpected,
I would never have let that go down like that, though. Truthfully, if I was there, that wouldn't happen. That wouldn't happen.
That shit wasn't. Because
cool. I would have got him up out of there, covered him up.
Slow was one of my niggas, man. Me and Slow was always 100. I really can't just speak on, none of that shit right there. Shit's real life. Motherfucker when it get to them points like that, it's like, damn. So all I know is I ain't have a personal issue with Slow like that. His issue was more or less built on 50 bullshit for whatever his issues was with him. And then, it's always 50 having issues, but you don't go see 50 get active. I've seen the nigga get active before, but very seldomly will you do that. Not to take away from, like, I'm a nigga of stature where I'm gonna just call it how it is, No, the nigga's not a hoe. You understand? He's not no nigga that's just gonna let you do nothing to him. And he's an active nigga. But shit, who ain't?
Yeah.
At this point, you get what I'm saying. Like, I get it. He get active. I get just as active too. So it's one of them things where when it comes to me and 50, I always was my own man. And he developed this crew over the years and out of the success where a lot of individuals became yes men. And they became individuals that he looked for to surround himself with, because these niggas would say yes before they know damn well they should be saying no. I'm a nigga that wouldn't never scared to tell him, hey man, that's fucked up, 50. That shit ain't cool. When all these other niggas that's around him gonna say yeah just so they can get their shit.
That shit's fire.
Yes, man.
They shit bumping and shit. So we grow the understanding though from that because of that. And I realized that, man, this nigga used to these niggas around him telling them yeah.
Man, all the time.
All the time, nigga. That shit garbage.
So
Buck.
Now, hold on, Peter. So now, Buck, we in 2020 now, right? So everything you went through, what you think you would have done different, knowing the knowledge you know now? What you would have did different back then, with everything you know now?
I definitely would have I definitely would have created my own business team.
Got you.
Hands on. I would have had my own lawyer, my own management, my own everything. Being that, you know, I had nobody to help educate me.
Well,
I had to go.
But you can't really. You didn't know. You thought you
I
went.
just didn't know.
But he was young. He was young at that time.
I was young, man. You
was
feel
ready
me?
to
So
go.
I was just ready to go. You feel me? So those are the things that I'm just glad to still be relevant and still be around. I don't want to call no names, but it's a lot of niggas, bro, that's irrelevant and just not there that were a part of the Rock the Mic tours and everything else. But whether it's good or bad, you say Buck name and somebody got something to say. So I'm cool with that. The problem is when they not talking about you. See, they can say whatever the fuck they want to say about me. That shit don't cut no goddamn skin this way, whether it's negative or positive. You know, the positive shit I pay attention to. The negative shit don't get no play in this ride, G.
Let's talk about the positive. Let's talk about the positive now. Let's talk about the positive. You started something that you thought that was gonna go right and it went left to go right. The GoFundMe.
Yeah.
You told people to get you cash app you and you was going broke. They thought you would need help. And they said, I don't want to help Buck out. I'm helping Buck out. But now it started to be something good.
For sure. And, you know, let me really explain that to the people. You know, I don't know if they followed or been following, you know, the energy that's on my page. If you ain't following me, get at me ASAP, Buckshots. Matter of fact, give me to 1 million followers fast, motherfuckers. For real, give me that fast. Buckshots, BUCKSHOTZ. But listen,
damn, Buck done took over.
I had to.
Well, we gotta play some music real quick, Buck.
No. I want him to talk about this GoFundMe though.
Hold on, let him. Let's play a couple of records from his new joint, and then he can.
No.
This the good part, bro. This what they all want to hear.
This is the good part, bro. They thought he was.
Now let him play some music. Play some shit off Outbreak, bro.
That new shit he got.
Outbreak. All right, play Outbreak, and we come back to that.
Man, I want to hear Do You Challenge, bro. Play Do You Challenge.
I got you, Buck. It's the Weekend Work Bad Boys of Radio, Coach PR.
888 Shade 45.
This is Weekend Work on Shade 45.
The Bad Boys of Radio, Love the Hell, Coach PR. We here with the extended family, PR's tree, Young Buck. Because, you know, I come from the days of Lloyd Banks and Tony Yayo. So I was before G Unit, before it was a name. I was the DJ that went to go see Banks and bring him to the studio. So that's when my shit started. You know,
nigga, so you know more than I do.
Yeah, I went to school with Banks, so I know a little bit. You know, on the other, I'm from Queens, so I know a little bit more on that side. You know, but go ahead.
I mean, you know, I guess to speak on the whole issue of the shit that's going on in regards to the buck for buck.
Yeah.
I had looked in the headlines, man, and I seen where one of these sites, or a couple of these sites, had basically been speaking on the bankruptcy situation of me, and they had reported that I had only had $100 to my name and shit like that was written in the bankruptcy. So I basically just spoke on the bankruptcy, spoke on behalf of me being in bankruptcy, and was like, well, shit, you know, since the media is saying that I'm fucking broke and I'm only got $100 worth of jewelry and clothes and in my pocket, I might as well start a fucking GoFundMe. And I put my fucking Cash App up and was, you know, telling them, hey, just donate $1 for buck. Well, I look up and that's exactly what the fuck they've been doing ever since I done it. Just donating crazy. So I knew I said to myself, I said, good Lord, you know, here it is. It's me just basically trying to take a negative situation and make it positive. I need you to show me and tell me what to do with this. And, you know, honestly, man, the next day I woke up, it was like God turned a light bulb on me in my head. I created not a GoFundMe, I created a nonprofit. And I titled it Give to Get, and basically made the donations that's coming in actually go to my nonprofit, and we use the money that these people are donating to go help families in crisis throughout my community And the goal is to be able to raise enough money where we can help families throughout the world that's in midlife crisis. You might have a family of 10 that can't afford lights or water. Give to get. We here for you. You know, and just different things. I created my actual nonprofit with a couple females. One goes by the name of Nikita. She's one of the big workers in my city down at the Child Human Services Department. So she has access to a lot of these families that's in crisis. So she actually helped me develop my nonprofit as well. So it's honestly one of those situations where it was something negative and I chose to be forceful about it. And I'm getting a lot of mixed feelings about what's going on. People not knowing where should I donate or he's going to use this money. For one, man, I don't need the money. God gave me the idea. I don't got to lie to you about $1, and I damn sure ain't finna lie to God. I don't need that goddamn money, but I do appreciate the overwhelming response from the people, because even as I'm speaking to you and doing this interview, all I'm seeing is Cash App, Cash App, Cash App. And the only reason the Cash App is actually still up because none of the shit was playing. I threw this shit up as a Cash App. Once these ideas started to happen through the people sending the money, that's when I started to create what I have now, the nonprofit. And I can honestly say that my nonprofit was created from the people, for the people, because the dollars that they sent is what I spent from the money that was sent to actually start my nonprofit. So I developed the nonprofit on the humble, and it was created strictly from the people and them sending their dollars. And the only thing right that I could possibly do with the funds is give it back. Because yeah, I may have a situation that I may be going through or whatever the case. But one thing that I know for a fact is I can walk straight out this studio and go run the 2 blocks over and find you somebody that's doing 30 times worse than me. So I feel like this is my calling for me to be able to take a negative situation and turn it not only to a positive situation, but a longevity positive situation. So I just want the people to understand that it's a legitimate company, a legitimate situation. Again, I don't not pulling a scam for the doctor. Because donating more than just a fucking dollar. It's people that I've seen donating 5, 10s, 20s, 100, whatever the case may be. But the money at this point is going to an account and it'll be moved over to the nonprofit. Will go up with where you're seeing your donation as well as like you are now. But again, this shit was created from the ground up, and we just at the starting ground of it all. So the mixed feelings of shit like this, I can even understand it my goddamn self. But I'm also
That's a great thing though, Buck.
No, that is.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I'm also understanding at the same time, you know, why the people will feel like that, because, you know, for one, it's never been done. You never seen an artist like of my stature in the sense saying, hey, send $1 and using my actual name, send $1 for buck. And then the fact that I happen to be in a bankruptcy make the shit, oh, he's broke. He need it for himself.
Yeah, that's what people are thinking. Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Oh, he's broke. Is the fact that I'm going through the bankruptcy situation. People think that I possibly would send the money and use it for myself, but no, man, I'm pretty blessed to be able to survive without having to scam the world for a fucking dollar or any amount of money. I'm not a thief. I'm not a stealer. I'm a child of God, and I choose to do what I'm doing in regards to I can accept the negativity backlash because it's finna help.
I mean, it's been worse. It's been worse though. It's been worse.
Yeah, of course. I've dealt with worse. Of course, I've dealt with way fucking
You dealt with worse, bro.
I've dealt with worse.
What's the plan for Buck now? What's the plan for Buck now? Now, you know, you're doing that. You're out jail. Whatever you went to jail for, you're clearing up. You're out of G Unit. You got the outbreak. What's plan now for Buck right now?
Oh man, I think that the consistency of where I drop music is missed at this point. So you can expect music galore, expect the unexpected. But I also think that I'm able to get more off into the plan that I've always had from the beginning. And that's just using this rap shit as a stepping stone to get off into other shit that I like. Movies. I used to ask 50 all the time, yo, bro, why I ain't in Power? You know what I'm saying? Or these different things. Yo, why I ain't in this movie? Why I ain't in that movie?
What would he say?
He would say shit like, yo, just give me a minute. I got some shit for you. You know what I mean? And shit like that. And, like I say.
Nah, CJ, I don't want to go into all this 50 stuff, but when the last time you spoke to him?
It's been a while, man. Like I say, last time I spoke to him is when that fuck shit.
Can't lose. Can't lose, right? Did you have can't lose?
Yep. I mean, people don't know. I wrote Too Rich word for word for 50 Cent. I've never been compensated. When you listen to Too Rich, that's Young Buck. Don't make me pull out the original. I still got that too, Phil. I've never been paid for that. I've never, not to take away from no ghostwriters or none of that, but I've never rapped nobody where I wrote the whole entire song.
The chorus or the
whole entire song. The chorus and the whole entire song of Too Rich is one of my songs. 50 liked it so much, he said, bro, give me that. That nigga took my song and made that motherfucker sound like him. And I was like, yo, it's dope. I wrote it for you. You did it better than me, damn near. But I wrote that song word for word.
And you see, you didn't think about it at this time to do the business part behind it because he was. That's why you didn't compensate it though. But like, if you think about it, like y'all wasn't on the business sense.
Not at all, man. That's what it is. It's that a lot of those not being on the business sense is catching up. But don't think I wasn't gonna get on the business sense. That's the problem.
So what are you telling Young Buck now? If you could go back and talk to a Young Buck now, what are you telling him?
I would say put the same amount of energy that you put in opportunity that you put in business, if not more in business. Straight up. Well, be blessed and thankful for the opportunities that you get and even that you give, but as well as understanding that what's good of the opportunity if the business ain't right. You dig what I'm saying? So you just gotta, like I say, I would put that same amount of energy in the opportunity.
Well, on that note, Buck, we appreciate you clearing the air on the weekend with the Bad Boys of Radio.
Yes, man. Thank you, man.
This is a different kind of interview this morning.
Yeah.
Nah, this real.
This is the whole show. Yeah.
Listen, bro, y'all done broke the fucking morning waves. Like y'all started the morning wave. Yeah, the waves. This is waving. Like
this is way different.
This is about the wave. We waving right now. So yo, man, this is overdue. Shout out to y'all boys, man. For real, Dinero, UNPR. Y'all boys dope.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Buck. How to give me Instagram, Buck?
Oh man, listen, man. Follow me on the fucking Instagram right now. Ain't no telling what the fuck I might say or do. So if I was you, I'd follow me right fucking now. This nigga's crazy.
All right, well, make sure you follow Calvin and Melvin at Coast PR and at DJ Love Dinero. And it's the weekend work, and I done took over the show, Coach.
No, nigga, hold up, nigga. I didn't even get my shit. Follow Buckshot, BUCKSHOTZ, nigga.
The Bad Boys of Radio.
Bad boys. What you gonna do?
They're taking over the airwaves. So turn your radio up. Weekend work is now on.